Welcome to yet another show of Campus 101. I'm your host, Joan Misik. So here we talk about matters that affect you as a campus student, from leadership to relationship to lifestyle and every single thing you can think of. And today we are going to focus on relationships, and we have our guest Basil, who is from KPA campus. Welcome, Basil. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
How have you been?
I'm good.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about relationships. And but before we get to that, please introduce yourself and tell us where it is you are, what you do.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you once again. I'm Basil. I'm a student at Moi University West Campus. I'm the chairman Moi University Student Organization, or rather the Students Governing Council.
Okay.
Basically, with the Moi University Student Organization termed MUSO, all we do is champion to the issues affecting students, matters academics. That's the must we do.
Okay, what course did you take?
I do education arts.
Education arts?
Yeah, history, religion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about relationships, as I said earlier. And I would like you to tell me how the relationship between university administration and student leaders is.
The relationship is okay. Very, very awesome.
Okay.
Every door is open for us to air our issues. Right. We don't meet any obstacle as far as leadership is concerned. Right. All we do, whenever an issue comes up, whenever an issue arises, all we do is just take the matter to the administration. Everything is sorted out. We do it that way. No problem at all. Okay. We relate positively with the administration. As
student leaders, people would assume that it's a direct way. It's you want to talk to the dean, you just go to the dean's house. Is there a specific structure for communication from the student leader to the top officials?
Yeah, there's a formal structure.
Okay.
All we actually do is, whenever you want to make a formal communication to the administration, okay, you book an appointment with the dean. You book an appointment with her. For my case, she's a lady, so we book an appointment with her. But actually, like for our case, we've never had that long bureaucracy of trying to communicate with the administration. Okay, they assured us that whenever you have an issue, you can make a call, come to our office. So all we do is, the kind of appointment we book is not that long-term appointment. All we do is ask, are you in the office? Then she'll be like, yes, I'm in the office. Okay. We go there,
so
meet, talk.
It's casual.
It's casual.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the students? Relationship between you and the students. How do the students get to you?
The student getting to us, it's very easy.
Right.
Because we interact with them. We live together. We go to the same classes. At some point, whenever we have issues before lectures start, in fact, we talk. We tell them, okay, what is the problem? What is affecting us? What is going on in the university? So we get to know the bottom line of the problems of the university. Okay. So we interact with students every now and then. We are together all the time.
So it's not like you have a different office where people have to.
Okay, yeah, we have the leadership office, but now it's not a rank. I mean, it's nothing so special about being a leader in school, because at the end of the day, you're still a student. All you do is that you have that privilege to be a leader, being duly elected by the students.
But do you have those students who let it get to their head, you know, as if they are politicians, so you can't talk to me unless you...
Yeah, you know, we have those people when they assume power, like these leadership powers in school. Some of them can become a secretary general, chairman, like I do, health director, and so many other posts. So all we do at some point after elections, we get to the meeting. We tell these guys, let's not forget that we are still students. The people we need to work with are these students. The issues affecting the university affect students, so we have to team up together with students. So we don't have that ego, I'm a leader, you're a student. No, we are all students. So at some point we have, though I've never seen in my cabinet currently, no one has that much pride of being a leader. Okay. I mean, we associate together. I mean, we are the same level. Okay. There's no bigger rank, no smaller rank. We are all students. Yeah, together.
But for the student leaders, okay, the student leaders amongst themselves, you are the chair. So does it mean you have to, how do you communicate with the rest? Do you have to dictate what happens? How does it go?
Speaking of dictating what happens, yes, or what to be done, okay, dictation currently doesn't work. You know, we live in a world where everyone knows his or her rights. So there's no way you can dictate to any other person, because At the cabinet currently, we have 12 members. These 12 members were all elected by students. So they're not going to dictate to anyone. Before making any formal communication, we have a unit that does the publicity, that is the office of the Secretary General. So we communicate through him. Okay, whenever I have an issue, or when I want to call for a meeting, I'll tell the Assistant Secretary General or the Secretary General, whoever is there at the moment, please call for a meeting on a certain time at our office.
Okay.
That's how we communicate.
Okay. So let's shed more light on the lecturers and student relationship, mostly on the healthy side of that relationship. How does it work? Does it work like it used to in high school, or do the lecturers follow up, with the assignments and everything?
Right. A lecturer comes to class, he teaches, gives out assignments, that is. So doing assignments, it's matters responsibility to a student. I mean, you take up the matter as your own responsibility. Lecturer handles a good number of students. Maybe, like in my class, we are more than 400 in one class. So a lecturer starting to coming to do the follow-up of who has done the assignment, who has not. It's somehow olden way of doing things. So people take up the matter as their own responsibility. No one follows you up. We are all mature in campus. In campus, we have people from 18 and above. This is someone who knows what he came to do, what she came to do in the university. So a lecturer cannot come tell you, please, have you done the assignment? There's no that follow-up, one-on-one follow-up.
Okay.
Instead, what we usually do when we have some assignments, we usually do the group work. All the lecturer can do is, please ask us to have some groups for discussion and other things, but he cannot come following you up in person.
Okay.
So whether you do the assignments or not, the consequence will come back to you, because at the end of the day, you'll have to do the major exam, the main exam, the end of semester exam. During that exam, for your all marks to be factored in, you must have sat for the CAT and the main exam. Okay. Failure to do the CAT, that means a missing mark. You're not going to get all results, because the CAT adds up to 30%. Okay. The main exam adds up to 70%. So they all depend on each other. Okay. 30 to 70. You get that. Okay. So when you fail doing this 30, you fail getting the end year results, and that's when you have issues to do with missing marks, issues to do with incomplete results. Okay. Most of them it's students' fault. So you don't have to be followed up.
Okay, so we are still on this relationship between the lecturers and the students, but who holds the lecturers accountable in the case where they miss classes? Because I've heard there are situations where they miss class. You find a lecturer just sends notes online. Already that is a relationship, hampered with. Yeah.
To cite a very practical example, like in our case, when we assumed office, that was in early September. Okay. Yeah, early September. Then exams were coming. Exams usually happen from September, August, September. So we had a scenario whereby a lecturer came to class once, gave out the handout, of course the notes printed. Then the lecturer went away from class. Then he came back during exams. Students became rowdy. How do you examine me when you've not trained me? Yeah, it's not logical. It doesn't add up. A lecturer comes to class once, then turns up during exams. Here, students need to write an exam. We need the content. No one has given you the guideline on what you're going to do. You don't have the insight of the course. You get that? Okay. So at the end of the day, you find that most of the things are done by the student. A lecturer fails to come to class. So who should handle this lecturer? Who should make him be accountable for what he has not done? Actually, it is the administration. When the lecturer is assigned duties, maybe to teach at West Campus, that lecturer must have the timetable to show that at a certain date on a certain time, I should be in West Campus teaching certain course, because that's what he has been allocated. Secondly, a lecturer will expect a call from a class representative. This means a class representative will look for a room where that course is going to be taken. Call the lecturer, tell him or her, we've settled down in a room. Please come, there's a class in a certain room. For example, room 17 or room 20 or room 1. So that lecturer is supposed to come to class. But now it comes to a point where a lecturer has given out an handout. Then you call the lecturer, tell him we have a class. Then a lecturer fails to come to class several times. So at this case, it affects the positive relationship between the student and the lecturer, because there's no that touch between students and the lecturer. There's no that relationship because you are away from me for a longer time. Of course, I'm not going to be positive about you because at the end of the day, what I know is you've absconded what you're supposed to have done to me. Students pay to be in class. Students pay to be taught. Students pay to be trained. But at the end of the day, you pay and you're not trained. You get the point?
Yes.
So you don't get the value of your money,
Okay.
of what you pay. So that's where the problem is now.
Yeah, but initially we talked about it not being a high school setup, right? But then still we go out there and we find that there are people who are half-baked. Is there a chance that it's mainly because there's a disconnect between these lecturers and the students, just as you said, there's no positive feedback?
Speaking of being half-baked
Yes.
out there in the job market,
Yes.
it necessarily doesn't mean that it is the disconnect between the student and the lecturer. Because I can give you this example. A lecturer can come to class from the day he was allocated until he finishes the course. You get that point? I mean, the lecturer can be consistent with these classes, very positive. But the problem comes in when a lecturer is consistent, but the student is not attending classes. A student is not attending lectures at that point. You find that this fellow who is supposed to be in class is busy doing some other stuff outside there. So he's missing a lot on as much as training is concerned to him. So at most of the time, we cannot blame the lecturers. Students at a very larger extent fail to take up the matter as their responsibility. When a parent sends you to university, that means you're supposed to come to the university to learn, to be trained. Maybe as a teacher, as a lawyer, as a medic, or as a journalist. You get that? So you have to get the full content of what you're supposed to do. So you come to class today, be out for 2 weeks, then come to class. Of course, you're not going to be consistent. Come to exam, that's when you find someone busy cheating on exams. So cheating means you have nothing to write. You have no idea of whatever you're going to do during that paper. So the issue of half-baked is not basically lecturers. Okay. It is two-way, lecturer-student.
So speaking of cheating, let's deviate a little. If we are speaking about cheating, and how is that handled at a campus level?
Cheating, right. I can tell you it's something real. It happens. It happens. But as we speak currently, it has gone down to a greater level because the penalties are becoming stiffer and more serious. Initially, a lecturer would find you cheating, take up the handout, answer sheet and stuff. Then he will only throw the paper and give you another paper. But currently, when you're found cheating, the lecturer will take your script, take your student ID. So your student ID basically means it has all of your details in the school, the name, the admission number. So when they take that, of course, you'll have to face the Senate. Facing the Senate means disciplinary. A good example was given by a lecturer. He told us, yes, I'll find you cheating. I'll forgive you. But forgiving you doesn't mean that you don't have to take up the responsibility. I'll forgive you, but you have to be held responsible. Being held responsible means being disciplined. Being forgiven means a correction, that you'll never do that. Doing that correction means disciplinary. So disciplinary is what is has been the reason, the thing that tamed the student against cheating. But it had been rampant for several years. Okay. Currently, no more cheating, though there's cheating, but at a very minimal level.
This takes me back to the relationship of student leaders and the staff and the lecturers, for example. So I know leaders are by nature, responsible. But what if there's a student leader found cheating? Is there a way they can amicably solve the situation? Because I feel like they are placed in a better position than the rest of the students.
No, right. I'll go contrary to that. Okay. Being a student leader, the responsibilities are so different from the class responsibility. Being in class, you are a student. You get that? While in your office, you are a student leader. Being a student leader, there's some privileges you'll be accorded. Being in class, you'll be handled same way as a student. Okay. You get that? When a student leader is found cheating, the law takes every angle. You get that? Being a student leader, being a student, not even a student. When in class, you're just a student, ordinary student. So there's no limitation on how to handle a student leader, unlike the ordinary student. You're handled all the same. Okay. The discipline is just the same. the legal actions taken are very, very much the same.
Okay. So within your years of study, how long have you been studying?
Currently, it's 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So within that time, you have not found the student leaders who believe they are more entitled, to a better relationship with, the staff rather than normal students.
They are.
Yeah.
They are there. Like when I was in first year, we had a group of leadership. When I was in second year, we found another. Then third year, it's now us. When I was in second year, there's some group of leaders from that we had elected. So what happened? Sort of these guys tend to look more superior than even other staffs of the administration, because they got the mass of the students behind them. They got the students behind them. Like what our fellow does in Nairobi, the Babu guy.
Yeah. Career students.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Being a student leader, you cannot create a special group of students that whenever there's an issue that you've gone contrary to the policies of the school, these people will come at your back through demonstration. You get that?
Yes.
We have those type of leaders. Eventually, a student leader will want to be noticed as a student leader. No, I mean, when you want to, as a leader, you don't need to get attention everywhere. What should bring attention to students is actually what you do to students. Of course, you're not going to pay school fees for students. You're not going to help them clear their rent. All you're going to do is issues pertaining to students, like academics. You get that? And in social welfare of students, you handle that with administration. You get that? Yeah. But at this point, you're not going to be, more superior than any other person.
Okay.
No. You get that?
Yes.
Something that has been misplaced, mishandled by various leaders over some time.
But those are the promises that you make to students before campaigning.
Actually, when you look at, I was reading a book by Pepe Minambo. It's called Beyond Limits. Pepe says a man is one sentence. You look at Barack Obama said, yes, we can. During my campaign, I said compliance. Simple that, compliance. Okay, whatever I'm going to do or help you people achieve in while at school is what I can handle. You get that? I cannot come tell you when I assume power, I'm going to help you cater for your school fees, or else I'm going to help you settle your bills. I mean, that's a very fat lie.
Isn't that what people do to establish a relationship with their voters?
Actually, politics is so dirty and it's very psychological. In Kenya, when you become genuine during your campaign, you are going to squarely lose. I mean, you can attest that. Tell me, when I go to power, some things that I cannot do, I'll not do it. That's campaign I'm doing. These guys will be like, this guy is not even promising. Why should we even assume? Why should we even try risking him? No, we cannot bet on him on our matters. So why should we take him to the office? You get that? So when you become genuine, it's very, 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 very sure you're not going to make it to that office. Right. So at some point you have to lie. But when you lie, you remember you don't have to give lies that are more lies. You lie to look genuine.
Right.
You get that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, for me, I thought when the campaigns are on, you go to the ground and look at the issues that affect most of your voters, and then you go back to basics. Now are you trying to tell me that you make a lie out of what is happening? You blow it out of proportion so that it becomes the campaign, the real campaign.
Right. During our time on our campaigning early this year, what we tell students, because we've known the problems that have been there ever since. The issues that have been affecting students over and over again have been issues to do with results, prolonged results in school, issues to do with class attendance, you get that? Then issues to do with matters sports, matters health in school, you get that? So sports, there was problem of allowances. During academics, there's problem of delayed results and poor class attendance. Maybe to go back to history, of our campus, last year we had students unrest over unattended classes. Classes had not been attended, like 70% of it, and exams were coming. And you know, a lecturer cannot miss to come to class to give her an exam,
Okay.
regardless of what he had come to teach or not. That's how ignorant at some point human are in our universities. You get that?
Okay.
So during our campaign, you tell them, okay, these issues that are affecting us, like results, delay of results, missing marks, matters sports welfare, allowances during sports and stuff. We're going to try and champion that. You get that? Okay, like now in my docket, I was the chairman. What I could tell the students is compliance, because whenever we have a sports director, we have a health director, we have someone who's going to handle academics and someone who's going to handle students' welfare. When you have an issue raised by a sports director, I'll comply with that.
Okay.
You get my point?
Okay.
That's the point.
But the relationship is still maintained
It's
after
still
the
maintained,
elections.
yeah, after the elections.
Okay, viewer, that was us talking about the relationships, and basically we talked about the positive relationship between the lecturers as well. But after the break, we are going to talk about the toxic relationship that lecturers and their students have, as well as, you know, the student relationships. Thank you so much. Keep it tuned.